Hello everyone. Hi, all my sayangs are here. Okay, so welcome back to Kat Kitchen KakAlin. Hari ni siapa kat dalam kitchen kita? Mina-mina kat dapur ni. Kita have Molly and Elni. Siti tak ada hari ni. Kenapa Siti tak ada?
Kita ada rehearsal.
Dia ada rehearsal
Yeah.
That's good tau. I'm really happy bila dia cakap dia ada rehearsal tu. Yalah, she's going to be missed here. Tapi it's good because it means that theatre is, going to start. Kita pelan-pelan nak resume back into, our normal lah insyaAllah. Okay, so today, hari ni korang makan juga ke?
Makan.
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 Apa tu? Keripik dia best.
Cute sangat.
Tidak.
Ingatkan satu paket kecil tu cukup. Makan macam Ayu lah. Kau tu satu botol beruku ambil.
Kita beli kat ni kedai mamak apa tu roti prata Teluk Belanga.
Kat Teluk Belanga.
Ya,
dia jual beruku. Okay, for those of you yang tinggal Teluk Belanga tu, Teluk Belanga Crescent tu so happening tempat dia. Dia nama dia TBC, macam to be confirmed, tapi dia actually Teluk Belanga Crescent. Tempat dia happening sangat. Ni dua orang ni memanglah orang Teluk Belanga Crescent lah. Tapi satu dah pindah Jurong kan. Tapi El ni dia bukan, dia kalau mengundi dia tak kat Teluk Belanga Crescent Dia dia mengundi kat Holland
Holland Bukit Timah.
Holland Bukit Timah.
My old address. Yeah.
Yes, dia dulu District 10 kawan-kawan. Okay. Okay, so
makan je lah.
Kan. Sedapnya muruku makan pakai sudu, amboi. I only have nachos chips, but good for me because I had the guacamole, so I'm very happy. Okay, so today since Siti kan dia anak Cik Beda, tapi dia anak Cik Beda yang jiran sebelah kanan. Ini yang jiran sebelah kiri. Cik Beda juga nama dia. Anak Cik Beda, anak lelaki dia, handsome. Masih belum kahwin. Okay. So, besides the point. Okay. So, anak Cik Beda tu, I dah panggil. I dah ajak dia datang dapur ni lah. Tapi bagusnya tak payah masuk dapur. Dia cuma kat luar lah. Dia kat luar dapur je. So, still ada halal gap lah. Okay, we will bring in our guest for today. We have Ahmad Mustain coming. Silakan anak Cik Beda.
Hello.
Anak Cik Beda in the house.
Cik Beda keluar tengah tengok Suria.
Tengah Suria ya.
I don't know, Suria tengah tengok dia, one of them watching.
Yes, satu daripada dia lah. Okay, so today I bring you guys on, and also because Siti tak ada jadi we'll bring a guest in lah. Tapi a nice topic actually. The topic is about maybe something to help with, the idea of melalui atau mengharungi suatu keadaan di mana anda melalui suatu episod yang menyakitkan atau dilanda sakit atau currently going through a medical punya masalah. Okay, so I have the three of you and I know your personal history. The good thing is sebagai adik Kak Alin kan. Kak Alin ni tahulah korang punya story-story ni semua kan. So okay, so I will not hide what you went through, okay? But what I'm going to do is kita using this platform kita create an awareness lah, okay? So Elni, she will be talking about apa tu Elni? What will you be talking about today?
The episode
cinta luka ke?
No, my experience with ectopic pregnancy.
Ectopic pregnancy nanti kita akan cerita lebih banyak lagi tentang ectopic pregnancy. Apa itu kehamilan ectopic apa dia keadaan tu ectopic pregnancy. And Molly, okay, Molly ni keadaan dia dah baru lepas surgery Molly sekarang tengah melalui proses recovery lah. kita cerita sikit tentang Molly pula.
Molly ada this condition called endometriosis. Tu dah okay lah. Dia dah go through surgery. But then I still have adenomyosis. Because
Endometriosis tu yang a bit tak, endometriosis ni I rasa mungkin ramai orang dah mungkin lebih tahu tentang endometriosis. The other one tu a little bit more masih I think tak ramai yang tahu. What is it actually? Nanti kita cakap lah kita will talk a little bit more. Okay, and then we have Ahmad. Anak Cik Beda, tell us.
Nanti anak Cik Beda dengan I sama-sama pakai stripe.
Kelas. Pakai stripe. Cantik. Kita tak dapat circular. Kita pakai see-through saja. Okay.
I'm always black.
Okay.
Maybe next week pakai lain colour kot.
Okay. Black is always same kata orang. Okay, Anak Cik Beda, Cam, tell us a little bit about what you are currently going through.
I am slightly over 3 months in my remission from testicular cancer.
Okay, so how are you at this point of time?
I'm actually trying to assume a lot of normalcy. You know, I'm back in school teaching. I go for my regular scans and my blood work every 4 months. So as usual, there is nothing different.
Dia gunakan markers. What is that? The cancer markers. Tu dia macam mana? How does it work?
So the markers essentially is a regular blood test where they realize that if you do not have cancer, everyone has these markers, but they are within a certain range. If you have cancer, then the proteins will be overly produced and it will reveal that you have cancer because it has gone way over.
Way over lah. Dia macam over the top gitu.
And when it's over the top, I'm talking about you are like a few hundred, even 1,000 times the regular. Yeah. So for me, it was like 700 times. So it was very obvious that I had cancer. Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's go through the whole entire process, okay? Kalau dia terlalu difficult, it's too hard to think through atau to go through it again, just tell us that you don't want to talk about it. I'm okay. Don't worry, because the idea here is we want to tell people how for the three of you, it happened without you even knowing it kan, sebab dia macam tiba-tiba je, okay? Okay, let's go with Elni. So Elni, this ectopic pregnancy, tell us a little bit about it. Ectopic pregnancy ni dia where is the fetus atau that alkah lah, that benih tu, where is it actually?
Is actually in what's that word?
Fallopian tube,
Fallopian tube. Yeah, so it's in one of the ectopic pregnancy is where the egg hook onto your fallopian tube and it doesn't go down to the uterus, the womb area. So what happened was terus cerita
terus cerita. Go ahead.
Okay. So what happened was at that time I'm having very irregular period, right? So I didn't come for my period about 3 months. So I thought normal lah.
Biasalah tu normal lah tak ada period.
Because mine is really really irregular, right? So then one day I felt like macam this is weird because weird kerana I felt my lower abdomen like macam dah keras, like it was quite hard really, and I know that when you have your period, it's tak keras apa, it's not hard, it just bloated, So I actually I was like thinking, at the time I was married, of course. Just a disclaimer,
Yeah, Ellie, you were married.
Yes. So I actually went to get the pregnancy test just to check it out. Kan? I mean, who knows, right? So it came out 2 stripes, and that means I'm pregnant. And I was like, really, meh? Because I tak percaya lah, I don't know, it just didn't hit me that I was pregnant because I was still busy. I don't have any motion sickness. I don't feel anything. I feel normal.
Tak ada morning sickness. Motion sickness tu kalau kau naik kereta nak muntah. Morning sickness, girl.
So tak in tune with all this.
Not in tune kan? Okay, tak apa,
right?
tak apa.
Okay,
tak apa.
so yes.
No morning sickness. Okay,
So,
and then?
so I actually went to see a doctor, right? To check it out. So I actually went to see a clinic, a woman's clinic, not even KK, a woman's clinic. And they did a ultrasound and they were like, tak ada pun. Phantom. That's like, oh, hold on. Can you pee in the cup? And I did pee in the cup. And then the doctor's like, but you're pregnant.
But you're pregnant.
You're pregnant, but it's not there. That's like, they say, oh, you know what? Let's wait for a week. Maybe the egg haven't turun to the uterus lah. Right. So the following week, I supposed to go to see the doctor again. But tak sempat.
Sebab rehearsal ke?
Tak. It was the day before. I literally, when something just, your lower abdomen just went bloop. Like macam bloop. I don't know how to explain.
Jatuh.
I don't know whether it's dropped, but it just went, it's something wrong, right? And I feel like, oh my God, I want to shit. Like macam nak terberak. Like, oh my God, I feel like I want to shit, like whole shit. So I went to the toilet, or I may go to the toilet. At that time, it wasn't that painful. And I did at the atas toilet. I was like, I wanna shit, kan? I was, and then suddenly the pain rushes down around my back, my front of my abdomen, my lower abdomen. I remember holding onto the walls because I was like,
kat mana ni? Kat rumah?
Kat rumah. I was at rumah. I was like, because I was just watching TV. I didn't know whether I was preparing to go rehearsal because at the time I was rehearsing for Club Tempest. Club Tempest, Theatre Works Club Tempest. I did the one at Central last time. I know, kan?
Lama tu cerita tu. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. So I remember I went to the toilet. I was holding onto the wall, like, oh my God, what is this? And then I said, oh no, I'm not shitting. This is not shitting. I cannot shit, kan? I cannot walk. So I crawled myself out of the toilet. I did. I crawled myself out of the toilet. Go to the hall. I couldn't stand up already. I called at that time my stepsister, Ayu. I called Ayu. And I said, you need to get me, because at the time, my husband was working, kan? He wasn't around. So, you got to get me, I don't know, just get me to KK or I don't know, I don't know what's this. I couldn't. And she came and I couldn't get down. I don't know who helped me out. I tak ingat.
I can't remember. Okay.
I can't remember. I don't know whether it's you. I can't remember whether it's the taxi driver. I can't remember whose boyfriend helped me out. I can't remember, but I know I couldn't walk. In the cab, I was holding onto the cab. I was, I got breathing exercise and I breathed, and I went to KK. They got me onto the wheelchair. And, this is the thing that I don't like. I went to register. I personally gonna go to that reception and register.
Tengah dalam sakit
Yeah, my stepsister cannot bring my IC and register because that woman, the receptionist, want to see my bloody face.
No, woman.
I tak tahu siapa that nurse, but I was so angry at that time. But I was like, yes, my name is Elni, this is Ali. Can you get me to see a doc? So they wheeled me to, they call it the observation clinic first, like, take my heart pressure, and then after that, and then they checked me out, like, so I, so they checked me out. I think I know the first doctor went in and all I can remember is, he went, he said, give me a second. And he actually went out to call a second doctor. And then the doctor came and asked me, at the level 1 to 10, how painful is this?
And you said,
and I was like, and I said, I think I'm an 8 or a 9. right? It was really there. And then he looked at me and he said, "You should have fainted and not be able to get yourself to the hospital." And I say,
Mhm.
"Why?" It burst.
Oh,
My
wow.
tube burst.
Your fallopian tube burst.
Yeah. So they straight on get I know go to the what E&E operation room surgery da da da. Don't know what they did, and the next thing I know, I woke up already in the hospital bed lah. I mean in the ward. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay, so that's
Yes.
in a gist. Yeah, what
That's in
happened?
the gist. That's in the
Yeah,
gist.
in a gist. Yeah. So we will go there again. We will talk to her again. Okay, now let's talk
Mm.
to Molly. Molly pula macam mana bila tiba-tiba, tertiba je. Bila
The
Molly,
tiba. Okay, the
terus
thing is
Molly,
that
I tahu Molly dia cerita terus dia pingsan.
no, the
Ah.
thing is that you see, I have been fainting every month. The
Ha,
pain is every
ceritakan
month, you see.
kenapa dia faint
Okay.
every month? Adakah kerana dia suka main kuda kepang?
Makan kaca,
Kaki nurun.
you know, kadang-kadang dia lari pokok tak. So what happened was that, okay, I have been having this, right? I mean, in my 20s, I go to, you know, women's clinic and all that, and they keep telling me it's hormone. So I have been given contraceptive pills to so-called, you know, balance my hormone. So it's like I have been living with this condition for like, you know, since very young lah. Actually, even in secondary school, I was always like, you know, always in this like extreme pain. And then people always say, oh, menses cramp is normal. Yeah, it's only during my menses that I will have this. So I think in my 30s, it got worse lah. So it got worse that, you know, and yeah, like how Elmi explained, it's that kind of feeling, you know, it's like you thought you wanted to go and you wanted to pass motion, but nothing is coming out. And then there's this extreme pain on your pelvic, and then you're already holding the wall, dah breathing macam nak beranak, but you're not giving birth, you're not giving out anything. And, you know, and every time, you know, and because I know I have this pain, right? So every time I'm always aware of it, I say, okay, I know that I'm going to black out. So I will always make sure that I am on the floor already. Okay, it's like you cannot stand up. By the time this happened, you cannot stand up, you have to crawl. So every time I'm like, okay, I'm crawling back to bed. Sometimes I will call Elni, today I'm not well, please bring me Milo or whatsoever. You know,
Dia
please
macam
check on
ada
me.
earthquake punya alarm. Dia earthquake punya
Yes.
alarm, get to the floor, you know, get down on the floor
Yes.
gitu.
Yes. But somehow last year, it was during the fasting month. So I woke up, alamak, okay, I have my period already. Then I was like, okay, stand by lah. So I was prepared. Okay, the same thing, I go to the toilet. I know that, you know, I will have the attack anytime, right? So it's like, okay, I, you know, it's like, I will always make sure that my floor is clear or whatsoever, because I will need to crawl back, right?
Yes, correct.
And then I woke up on the floor. Then I realized, alamak, kepala dah benjol. So I had a bump on my head
You black
already.
out, yeah? You black out.
Yes. So I am like, okay, yes, my cat yang ambil this limelight sekarang. So it's like, so I woke up, I was like, okay, this cannot be already. You know, because I stopped contraceptive pills in my early 30s already, because I was like thinking hormone pills is not good for you in the long run. You know, so I was like, no, I cannot go on. So it's like, you know, it's very much of just like tahan sakit, you know, and manage the pain, you know that you're going to faint. And I didn't know it's endometriosis. So I was so that day my husband came back, we went to the hospital and all that, sent me to the hospital. But actually I was warded because they were worried for my heart, because they found out that I have very slow heartbeat.
Okay, tell us a little bit about that slow heartbeat though.
So they say, they keep saying, you know, it's like, we have to keep you warded because, you know, we realized that since 2013, when I had my removal of gallbladder, and then to last year, 2019, they say that it has gone slower. So I asked them, I said, oh, so I say, what can I do? You know, what can I eat? You know, to to go
To make
back
it
lah,
faster.
normal lah, you know.
Yeah, to
Then
go
they
to
say,
normal.
so they say, no, this will just go slower. I say, slower? So
Slower
anyway,
to
so I was hospitalized, but then the focus was
It
on
was so
my
slow
heart.
that they said that you your
Yes,
heart
I
is
had a
okay.
70-year-old punya heart. You know, a
Wow.
70-year-old woman heart.
That means dah boleh ambil CPF tau actually.
Precisely lah.
Macam your heart is
Jual
70
rumah
years
ambil
old.
CPF, just go
Itulah,
travel
kau
the
patut
world
pergi
lah.
CPF office, kau cakap, actually I can prove to you. You see, my heart is 70 years old. Please give me my
Yeah.
CPF. Okay.
But then they don't know. Then I had to, but like 3 days, it's just focus on my heart, not on the gynae. So I had Ng Teng Fong hospital to actually, because I went to a woman's clinic after I was discharged from Ng Teng Fong, because they are focused on my heart. I wasn't happy because I say it's not of my heart. Okay, I fainted not because my heart is slow. Okay, I
Yeah.
fainted because of my pain, you know,
Yes.
and it only happened when I have my period. And they are not listening, I feel. So I went to a woman's clinic in Jurong East. That's when they referred me to NUH. So I get to see this Dr. Mali. So we had a scan, we had you know, she checked and all that, and true enough lah, you know, I had to go for even CT scan yang masuk terowong.
Correct, betul.
The CT scan I had to
CT scan masuk terowong CTE. Okay, continue.
East Coast masuk yang terowong.
So, jangan sampai East Coast, please. Jangan sampai East Coast.
I have a plan, don't worry. So anyway, yeah, it's confirmed that I have both this endometriosis and adenomyosis. And what happened is that so every month when I have my period, so instead of just discharge the blood, right? This lining, it didn't go through. It will just go back to any of the organs or whatsoever, any part of your body lah. So it's stuck
outside, right? It's
outside my
outside.
uterus. That is endometriosis. Adenomyosis is inside. So it's the muscle of the uterus. So, but you know, at the muscle of the uterus, this AD, they cannot get rid of it lah. Because our general hospital somehow allow only the outside. So endometriosis was removed, and then because my pelvic pun dia cakap dah jatuh, so dia naikkan balik. And then there is this node that is growing. That is yes, that is punching into my bowel. Tu yang pasal I rasa nak terberak. Is actually this nodes yang inflame every month. So so that was removed.
And these nodes atau nodules ni dia inflame only bila waktu period ya. Okay.
During the hormones lah. I think, you know, I don't know how hormone work also lah.
Kau hormonal lah, Molly. Kau semua
hormone. Yeah. Okay. So after the operation, dia dah tak sakit lagi until recently, like last week, I had another attack.
So you should go for your checkup.
You need to go for your checkup.
I have already booked. So I have booked with my doctor. I am going to meet my doctor in September. So because I still have my AD. You see, it could be because of the AD.
Maybe.
Okay. If you have insurance, you should really go to a private doctor. I mean, September is like 2-3 months away.
I know that feeling. I know that feeling. Yes, I know that feeling. Okay. So Molly, think about it. Yeah. Okay. I will come back to Molly and Elnie again. So now kita nak berbual dengan anak Cik Bida. So Ahmad, kau kan, jangan cakap. I think semua orang bila dapat tahu Ahmad has, you know, got cancer, kita semua macam, like a lot of questions. We had a lot of questions. So now, I'm sure you pun ada had a lot of questions. So when it first occurred to you too, how was it?
I remembered it was in October last year. I'm very aware. No. I was back in September. Yeah, I was back in September. So I was making plans for my graduation in November. Nak balik for my graduation in Edinburgh. So in late October, I was like, I'm very aware of my body. So bila mandi, I will check lah anything going on, what's going on. I noticed that, okay, and I give a disclaimer first. My story banyak cakap testicle, so it makes it a bit. So I say first, okay.
I think this rancangan is, yes, I think kita dah dewasa, okay.
Yeah.
I think we are able to see this medically, okay.
Yes, medically, very important.
Yes.
So I noticed there was a lump in my right testicle. There is no pain. There is no infection. There is absolutely nothing bizarre out of the ordinary. And I was very active doing CrossFit, and I was doing it like 4 or 5 times a week. I was like joining my friends for HIIT gyms and workouts. I came back and I was immediately thrown into school. I was teaching full time. I was doing O-level invigilation. And then there was a Singapore Writers' Fest with my Tulis group. It was like just madness and busyness, right? So I thought it was like inflammation, which I think would go away. I think naturally you assume that it will go away. And according to the doctor, when I eventually met him, he says that for most testicular cancer patients, the men pretend nothing is happening. And the average time where they eventually get treatment was actually 5 months.
Wow.
I went in for my checkup in December after Christmas. So can you imagine? I found it in October in Singapore. I went back to Edinburgh for 3 weeks, came back in early December, happy as anything, preparing for school next year. And right before Christmas, I remember it was 2 days before Christmas, there was this massive pain. And of course, by then the lump was significantly bigger. There was a massive pain that radiated down my thighs. It went all the way up to the side of my ribs. And it would come like suddenly, tiba-tiba, right? And it would go away. And I would be like, oh my God, what was that? What the hell was that, right? And it was
dia macam electric shock gitu.
Yes, it was an electric shock. And the pain was so severe, I had to squat. Like I would be, I would be at home and I'd be to squat. And I was like, okay, this is not regular muscle pain or soreness. This is something a little bit more sinister. But even then, I was like, okay, which doctor should I go? Should I go to a polyclinic? Should I? So in my area,
also working out at that point of time? Were you also working
absolutely.
out? You were doing a lot of CrossFit, kan?
Yeah, so I was, and before this, I was training the squat, so I was lifting heavier, and I thought it was just part of my body, just getting used to Singapore again or whatever, right? So I remember needing to go to the doctor to get this checked because, I've heard stories about cancer. People say that you have low-grade fevers. Sometimes maghrib je demam kan, ataupun alamat. I had no such thing. I was happy. I was fine. I was healthy. Other than this phantom pains. In my area,
kalau demam maghrib, besides cancer, mungkin itu tak nak dekat dengan orang bunian. Kita tak tahu.
Okay, anyway. That's another episode to talk
about. Another day. Okay, continue.
So in my area, there is a Malay Muslim doctor. His name is Dr. Zam. He is the replacement for Dr. Hafiz Hussaini, who left for New Zealand. He recently passed away, Dr. Hafiz. So I went to him because I was like, okay, you know what? He's my family doctor. He knows me, and he's relatively younger, so he would know where I'm coming from. And honestly, worst case scenario in my head, I never thought it was cancer. I thought it was some form of STD. Because these things can happen, right?
Yes, it can happen.
Oh my God. I will deny this. Yes, I will deny this. So he went in, he looked at it and he was like, you need to go to a urologist or an A&E immediately. I was like, wait, what's going on? He didn't even dare say the word cancer. It was me who said, could it be cancer? And he was like, we cannot rule it out. So I was like, okay, doctor, at this point, I don't know a urologist. I will have to go to a polyclinic and it will take time, blah, blah, blah. I tell you what, this is like magic, okay? He told me my twin brother, Dr. Azhari in SGH, is a urologist consultant.
Oh, wow.
It was like everything fall to place. So I met him on a Monday. By Thursday, I was in SGH urology. His twin brother, who looks exactly like him, did an ultrasound, and then I was sent to another ultrasound by this radiologist, and it was during the ultrasound that I think I kind of had the reality where I had cancer sink in. It was tough because she would say things like, "Your family got cancer history," and then she would like, "Oh, okay, there is increased blood flow towards that area." So I was like, "Oh, what does that mean?" She's like, that means it's something is feeding off it. Yeah, it's parasitic, right? So I was like,
Yes.
"Oh, okay." And then she was like, "Yeah," and then we also noticed that from the first scan to this scan, there has been some growth in size. I was like, oh, okay. So in my head, I was like, all right, so it has to be cancer, right? And again, she was like, no, 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 no. I cannot say anything. I will let the doctor say. So eventually, they took blood. They did the ultrasound the following week. So I went on a Thursday. On Monday was my review. That was when I was told I have cancer. But for testicular cancer, in order for them to know what stage and what type, so whether it's the aggressive or the non-aggressive one, they will need to do an orchidectomy, which means they have to remove the
Take a
testicle.
sample, yeah? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, they have to remove the whole thing, not just a sample. They
wow.
remove the entire testicle. So I have from 2, I have 1. So the running joke among my friends is I call myself an exclamation mark.
Oh, wow.
Well, you're making a point.
Yeah, that's right.
You're making a point.
I'm not shouting, but shouting,
Exclaim it.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so they did the biopsy, also known as the orchidectomy, and I was very lucky that the doctor was very understanding because I came in through a private clinic referral, right? Which means I'm a private patient. I was very lucky I had insurance. On hindsight, I'm so glad insurance paid for everything. Okay, every single cent. And he was very kind because I told him that I don't have money for this CT scan ultrasound because I did an ultrasound and another CT scan before my surgery. He said, "Why don't you come in to the hospital on the day of the surgery? We do it all at the same time. So it's like you're warded in. So insurance pays for everything. My hospitalization plan pays for everything instead of a separate bill for my CT scan, which I cannot claim." So that happened. The recovery period for the surgery was tough because it's okay. That as loosely as it sounds, it's like I went through an cesarean. Literally, it's right where but it looks like a, what do you call it, that surgery in your lymph nodes on the side, an appendectomy, is that it?
Appendicitis.
Appendix, yeah.
Appendix,
Appendectomy, appendix. Like it looks like appendix removal. Yeah, it looks like I have appendicitis until you really pull off my underwear. But other than that, because it's so deeply into the layers of my skin, it took quite a while to recover. So I was given about 3 weeks to recover. And that was really miserable, really, because I had stitches, tak boleh batuk, tak boleh tahu kuat-kuat, I couldn't stand up. And Kak Alin, your favorite ikan pati haruan polony, I had to drink that every day.
Oh, that's horrendous. That is like
I'm not even going to say that word because I cannot. Okay, aku takut nanti aku muntah hijau, so I'm not. So Ahmad, you are very strong. Yeah, you are very, very strong. Okay, to have gone through that. Okay.
So that was the first part, because then after that I had to go through chemo because after the surgery they discovered that I have the aggressive form of testicular cancer, but it was an early stage. So the early stage of aggressive testicular cancer is treated like it is stage 3 non-aggressive, and therefore I had to go through 2 rounds of chemo after that. And that was like, again, some more, really. Tak habis-habis. So I think I remember talking to one of my friends and she asked me, "How are you feeling?" I'm like, I'm feeling pissed because where on earth am I going to find time to do my theatre projects and write plays when half the time I'm stuck in a chemo, It's like,
lepas COVID-19 kau kat rumah.
it's asking you to heal properly.
Yeah. By the way, on a good note, today is 30th of June. Exactly 6 bulan is gone, man. 2020 be done and over with. Serious lah, cepat lah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
We'll come back. Okay. Now the next part is now tadi belum, that's why I tak nak Ahmad ceritakan dulu. I want Elni to tell us. So when ectopic pregnancy tiba-tiba datang and tiba-tiba you berdepan dengan dia, and now you know what, after you bangun daripada you punya dia punya anesthesia from daripada the surgery, everything, when you came back and then they told you that Elni, you were pregnant, you had an ectopic pregnancy, it was in your fallopian tube, it burst, now we had to do something with it, whatever. What was going through, your mind?
Initially, it doesn't sink in yet. It was all literally, it's literally just medical. I'm just thinking about whether I can get through this. I have a play, whether I can.
You were busy thinking about macam mana nak get back to that play.
Yeah, get back to rehearsing for Club Tempest. It's only when on the 4th day where they took out the tube. You know, they have this tube that goes inside. Because I have a keyhole that masukkan. Then you have to take out. Then it's like blue, right? So I remember the nurse says, okay, I'm gonna pull this tube, and I thought the tube macam gini lah, to suck all the blood that is inside you, kan? I was like that. Then he was like, okay, you know what? I know how to breathe. I'm just gonna breathe out as they pull the tube. And then when they pull out the tube, it was effing long. Like, it's so long. It's like, how did that get in there? It's like, you know, those tube, like small little rubbery tube, and it just, So, so when that happened, and then the doctor came. Okay, I need to tell you something. We actually had to take out the tube, one of your tubes. So you only have one tube left. And in my head, I'm tripping already. I trip, my uterus is hanging a bit. I
Uterus
my brain gone.
Fallopian tube dah tinggal satu.
And I was like, I still have that ovary over there and that ovary over there still. So this is missing. So how does that work? I don't know. And then it's only when the doctor mentioned, if you ever want to get pregnant again, it's going to be a high risk pregnancy. It's going to be really, really high risk. If you ever get pregnant, you need, on the get-go, you got to get yourself a gynae, and you got to, because it's going to be a high risk pregnancy, okay? And then that way it really sink in, and like, oh, I was pregnant.
Okay.
That was an egg. That was a baby. 3 months pregnant. It was 3 months already. Probably the first trimester. I think I should be going through the first trimester. I don't know, right? So it slowly dawned on me that I lost a baby.
A child.
A child, yeah. And then and then it rose to me, and then I just said that, I was like, okay, did I feel sad? No. Why did I not feel sad? Because I don't expected it. I was too busy with my rehearsal, with my life, to think about or to be sad about something that I lose. I only felt it when with one, and we talk about having children, and I was like, shites, I was like, so when I told him, and I was like, oh, okay, so the chances are not having children is there, and I was like, will I be okay with that? So it's not about me losing a child, it's about whether I'm gonna able to conceive or not in the future. That is the question that has been in my head after that lah. It's not about losing the baby, it's about the future. Yeah.
The future. Okay. So I guess okay lah, maybe in your busyness and everything, and and knowing you lah, you've always been a very pragmatic person lah. You're not true.
I don't hang out on emotions and all that, because if not, I cannot move on. I mean, that's me. I just see the practical thing about it. I don't dwell on the emotions, on the loss, or whatever. I just I just move on. Yeah, move forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that some when it does come to you, then you do feel a bit like, oh, okay, that could have been that moment.
Yeah. Just now when you mentioned about if that baby is still is still around, it will be 14, he or she gonna be 14 years old. I'm gonna have a
Yeah,
teenage a guy or a girl. And I was like,
yeah, of
damn
course.
it, like, oh wow, sec
Oh wow.
two, he or she gonna be in sec two. I'm gonna be a
I
mama.
could have taught her. Yeah, I could have taught him or her
Yeah,
English.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh my
yeah, I
God.
know.
Oh, and I have an anak saudara who is about 14 years old.
Yeah,
Oh no.
yeah,
He or she will be so spoiled. Ah, okay.
yeah. I don't know what he or she gonna turn out to be, but yeah.
Okay, Molly, that moment when you are being told of all these very complicated things,
Wow.
especially, I think, I know, I want that moment. I want you to tell us about that moment with Dr. Mali when you finally found her. Tell us about it.
Wah, I tell you now, I want to cry again.
Okay.
Part ni nak nangis pula. So, because when Dr. Mali was telling me about all this condition, you know, I actually felt relieved. It's like I am not crazy. This is not just in my head, because I have a lot of people telling me that, menses cramp is normal, menses cramp is this. Then I'm like, how can it be normal if you faint every month? It's like, I'm so tired of people pushing me certain kind of painkillers or pills or primrose. It's like it doesn't work for me. Why can't people understand? It's like, the only reason why I drink hot Milo is because it gives me energy, because after I faint, I wake up, I feel very tired. So when Dr. Mali actually tell me that it's endometriosis, she was telling me, I cried in front of her, because like, finally I am not crazy. It's like I have a condition. It's like I'm not kidding, because it has affected me throughout my life. It's like my full-time job. It's like, how do I tell people, like, every month I have to take MC. I don't have a choice. It's like, yes, I called you in the morning to say I have to take MC, but actually I go to doctor at night, and that also people like, but you go to the doctor at night. Yes, because that's when I can walk. It's like, it's so hard, for it has, like, it has affected my life. It's like, socially, I feel, because sometimes I have to cancel last minute. Oh, I cannot go out, or even rehearsals, like, director wants to work with you just 1-to-1, and then I have to cancel. Sorry, SM, I cannot. It's like, no, no, no. So it's like, and people are like, why you should have tell us earlier. How would I know tomorrow I am going to faint?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I am very emotional about this, because I have suffered this for so many years. It's like, how, it has affected me so much. And so yeah, so when finally Dr. Mali, she held my hand. Okay, she held my hand. She said, it's okay, because I was crying already. I was like, I'm not crazy. This is not just hormones. So Dr. Mali was very serious. She said there's not a lot of doctor who deals with endometriosis in Singapore, or adenomyosis. So it's like, so yeah lah, that's not at NUH, she's the only specialist there. And now, she just gave birth. That's why I can only meet her in September. And I only want to meet her. I know that people have told me that SGH ada and all that. But because, she is the first doctor who listened to me. She's the first doctor who diagnosed me after so many years of struggling with this, that I don't know what's the name of it. She gave a name to it. So I will wait for you, Dr. Mali.
And I think it's not just the lack of doctors, it's also people don't know about this.
people, a lot of people don't know
I
about
don't think
this.
even
Yes,
women
yes.
and girls they
Yes.
do know about this. I mean, I only know it when you went through it. That's when I'm like,
Yes.
ah, shit, that's what you've
Yeah.
got. Oh my god,
Yeah.
yeah. Other than that, we all just hide behind the pain or just slip through the cramps, not knowing
Yes.
that that thing exists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then because I joined, like, okay lah, Facebook page. There's a few Facebook page about endometriosis, and then when because after that I know what's the name, right? So I joined all this, for support. I want to hear other girls' story, and some of them, have very similar stories and all that. And I read, it's like, yeah, I cry reading this because they are feeling the same thing like me. I
Mm.
am not crazy. Is this pain is not just in my head. So it's like, so now, when people say some period cramp, I think you should really
Yes.
go
Yeah.
check it out lah. It's
Okay.
not something, because got people die, because of the pain, not because
Yeah.
it sees is it's like that's
If you think about it, it's like internal bleeding, and internal bleeding is
is
deadly.
it's
If you think,
inflammation,
yeah.
so
So
it's
one of
like,
the things, and one of the things that I personally, when I was going through my problem with my gallbladder and whatever, one of the things that I remembered very vividly thinking is sometimes, you shouldn't be so strong. Sometimes you should, if you're in pain, go get help. I
yes,
have a very, very, very strong threshold for pain. So I can be like really sakit, but then okay lah, I will just go on with life,
Mm-hmm.
until it got to a point where, yeah lah, actually, in my case, I had to, cut short all my waiting and went straight to private, get my gallbladder out because it was so inflamed. I'm like only 2 weeks away from a proper breakdown because my gallbladder could have, the sepsis could have, caused my whole system to shut, whatever. So I'm glad that sometimes one of the things I can give you as an advice, if you're in pain, go see
yes,
the doctor, go find out what's wrong. Janganlah
Yes.
in pain and then tahan, tak apalah, sakit sikit aja.
But
No,
I
don't.
think about
Okay?
but
high
that's
high
the thing, you see,
threshold person, right?
but
Because
that's
I
the thing,
think
you see.
you are high threshold, high threshold, Molly, and we are actually high threshold. Yeah, like having
But
our
that's the
appendix.
thing. I
Yeah,
always go see doctor.
yeah.
But you
Ah,
have to see the right
Right
doctor.
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 Yeah.
You
Because
can be
I went to
misdiagnosed.
female,
Yeah.
yes, because I went to female clinic and they give me, before that, and I gave up lah because like contraceptive pills saja is like I can buy it. Like,
Yeah, they're
and
not looking at
Yeah.
the problem. They're just hiding the symptoms because the
yes,
Mm.
contraceptives will only make you, not have your cramps. But that's not, actually helping the situation. Okay,
yeah,
now we'll go to Ahmad and ask that moment, Ahmad, when you berdepan dengan, oh my God, it's cancer, how bad it is. What was all these questions in your head at that point of time?
So the first thing that happened was the Dr. Azhari, the twin of the family doctor of my area. He gave me a sheet of paper and says, "Okay, so these are your test results." I'm like, oh, okay. So I opened it and I'm like, I have no idea what it's about, right? This is like medical literature or whatever. So I was like, okay. And he was like, oh, don't worry, I will explain it to you. So he explained to me, oh, your cancer markers were very high, normal markers between like 4 to 8. Yours is about 700 something. So it's clearly an obvious marker. We don't know whether it is what stage it is. We don't know what type it is unless we do the orchidectomy. So I was like taking all this in, and he was looking at me. He was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah. I'm absorbing all this information because for me, I need to know as much as I can because this is totally charting into new territories. You've heard of cancer, you read about cancer, you never ever thought it will be you, because when I had that diagnosis, the first thing I did was to read up on testicular cancer, and they said there are only two things that could cause testicular cancer. Firstly, when you grew up as a young child or young boy, you had undescended testicles. Mine were completely normal. You know, the second one is if you have history of testicular cancer in your family. So my father, my uncles, none of them have it. The only type of cancer that I have would be breast cancer and lung cancer, and those affected both maternal and paternal sides of my family. So the men were totally virile and healthy, right? And I remembered after that, he stretched out his hand like this. So I thought, oh, you want the paper back? I passed him back the paper, and then he looked at me. He's like, no. He put the paper aside, and then he shook my hand, and then he says, "Get ready for the toughest fight of your life." And I was like, okay, sure. And I think he meant that because before that, he already told me that the chances of recovery for testicular cancer is 95%. It's very high. He actually said one of those things you should never say to a patient. This is one of the best cancers to get if you ever get cancer. I'm like, really, doctor? I mean, seriously? But I understand where he's coming from, because it was only until the late 80s the success rate or the cure rate for testicular cancer was only 5%. They discovered platinum in the use of chemotherapeutic treatments, and then it became 95%. And even then, one man die every hour because of testicular cancer, and it only affects 6% of males. So I was like, wow, this I'm damn lucky lah. So the immediately, because I know, I then became incredibly concerned about the journey ahead because of that handshake, right? Which is good, because I think it's preempting me for what's ahead. And then he said, I'll now transfer you over to the medical oncologist. I'm like, okay, great. So I met my oncologist, and he says I have to put myself through 2 rounds of chemo called BEP. BEP stands for, each letter stands for a type of chemo drug that I will be administered. But the challenge for testicular cancer is, normally people go for chemotherapy once a month, once a week, even. Mine was every day for the first week. So it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Monday, and then the following Monday. And 7 treatments is considered one cycle. I have to go through 2. Yeah, I had to go through 2. And when I heard it, I was like, okay. And he was like, it will be a really tough fight. It's brutal. You need to mentally prepare for that. So I was supposed to get it done very quickly after surgery. He says 3 weeks post surgery, but because of COVID, it became 2 months later. So before chemo, I actually went back to school, and I was like teaching for like 3 weeks before I went back for chemo lah. And it was tough lah. Chemo was really tough, and I thought I'm like, CrossFit lah. I went through shit in life, survived Edinburgh alone. Chemo was really the one defining thing of my life. That was really when you are alone there, and you look around and you realize that it is not education that is a social leveler. It is illness. Tak kira kaya ke, tua ke, muda ke, cantik ke, tak, semua sakit. And when you're there and you're hooked up on tubes and you're alone and you're hearing the beeping sounds in the ward, and because of COVID, you can't bring anyone else. And I refuse to bring my mother because I will be having to nurse her on top of having to nurse myself. The loneliness really gets you, which is why I've come to realize that was an opportunity for me to find strength. That was when I realized, okay, you know what? You need to cheer yourself up. And it's not about feeling sorry. You just need to find something in yourself, whether you are writing about it online, whether you want to talk about it openly, as open as you want. And I was very conflicted to talk about it or to come forward about it. But it was actually my mother and her ustaza who said something which made me go, okay, you know what? I'm going to open my mouth. My mom's ustaza told her, if I were to ever talk about it, or if my mother would ever to talk about it, jangan cakap testicular cancer. Cakap aja cancer kelengkang. And I was like, what?
What?
And then I realized, I realized it's a language thing, because what is testicle in Malay? I asked around, and the best Malay teachers I know eventually told me it's buah zakar.
Buah zakar atau buah pelir?
Apparently buah pelir is seen as informal.
Rude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And when I looked around at the urology clinic or the oncology clinic, they didn't have handouts or flyers for testicular cancer. And I sort of understand why, because it's very rare. Number one, it's a very rare form of cancer. And number two, how do you even talk about it other than to just let it all out? So I realized that if my mother and my ustazah is going to enforce censorship on me, and we all know how artists feel about censorship, if I don't talk about my story, then people are going to talk about my story. And I think that misinformation and misrepresentation will cause more harm than good.
Okay.
I'm not here to glamorize my cancer or to, ooh, boo-hoo, pity me. I will tell you as a matter of fact how it is.
Yeah.
That's it.
Terima kasih. Thank you so much. Okay, so now I need, okay lah, really, korang bravery lah. I think, and it's not something that you wanted. I don't think, you want to say, oh yeah, I wanted to be brave. No, I think you had to be, kan? Because there's no other way but to be brave when you are berdepan dengan benda ni. Okay, so now maybe this is the last question I have before I close. Korang dah masa untuk menutup tirai. Tapi I want to finish up with this main question. And the question is about if you have an advice for people yang have to go through what you go through, what will you tell them? And yeah, maybe your own thoughts about how the future is going to be. Like Elni tadi cakap, the idea of nanti, if ever she wants to conceive, she needs to be assisted. The moment, she wants to get pregnant saja, she has to actually get assistance for that pregnancy. And then, so I want you to, so it's a two-part question. First, what would you say to someone who might have to go through what you go through? And then the second part is, what do you think of the future for yourself and how you learn from this, how you survive and learn and become that better person and braver person in the future? Yeah? So that's the two-part thing. So we'll start with Elni.
Oh, okay. So serious. No, I mean, sorry. I guess okay, I don't speak for everyone because I think everyone just goes through it differently, and I don't say that I represent anyone, but I think knowledge is the key. Fear will just put you in a mental state that is not helpful for recovery. I think read about everything and anything that got to do with women, about to do with cancer. Then it will really prepare you. It won't prepare you for the actual situation, but at least it prepare you mentally. Oh, this is what could happen, so that you know what is the right diagnosis or people have gone through. You know how it's not the end of the road. I cannot say whether it's death because we cannot plan death, kan? But at least if you go through this, you're not gonna die. I'm so afraid to say that because your nyawa is not in our hands, right? It's in God's hands. So yeah, so read, be knowledgeable. Fear won't put you in the right state of mind for recovery. I think ectopic pregnancy, I can say it's normal. It's there, it happened. It's not, you know what I mean? Because some people will say, ectopic pregnancy, tak nak berbual lah, malu lah. No. I think you should just stop being shy or taboo to talk about it. There are women out there that is going through and just saying about it. I find out about all these women issues through Molly, through my cousins who are going through, another woman issue altogether. So with all this knowledge, I'm prepared. I think I'm prepared. If that ever happens to me, oh my God, my lower abdomen, my back is feeling weird. I know what to do now. I think that kind of like prepares me. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Molly?
Yeah, so when I found out about it from Dr. Mali and all that, yes, read. I read a lot. It's like I find website, I find stories, it's like it's so easy. Everything now, you can not, I'm not saying Google your apa tu symptoms. I'm saying, like, read to once you are diagnosed, read about it, read what you can do, what it's like what you can do, you try and change. So for me, what I did was that I changed, because it has to do with something inflammation inside your body. So I changed my diet. I went into plant-based, I went vegan, and all that. I went really crazy. I cut out dairy. So it's like the more knowledge I have on it, it's like you just have to be active lah. If you want to be better and all that, I think you just have to be active. Yes, be brave, get yourself the correct doctor. If the first doctor say, don't be like me lah, because after 3 doctors, I think in my younger days, who say it's just hormones, I gave up. So it's like, don't give up. If you think that your pain is real and all that, go get your Dr. Mali. Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Finally, Ahmad.
I think you must realize that especially when you live in a family, when one person faces a terminal illness, the whole family faces a terminal illness. And I think someone like me, and for most of us, I think we're all very alike. We don't want to be a burden to others. We also don't want to somehow make it seem as if this is going to be a test the whole family faces. But that's not within your control, really. I think having the difficult conversations with your family when you have diagnosis, not hiding it from them, actually does more good than harm. And I genuinely believe that when you fall ill, you will somehow, I don't know how to explain this because it's not logical to me, good things will happen. Even though your mind tells you that this is going to be the worst, you're going to die from this, even if you survive cancer, you're still going to die from something else, good things continue to happen. Your friends will jump in, it suddenly becomes a season of love where you're receiving so much love from people, from strangers, from memories, from song and music. And allow yourself that space to recover. Because when you recover and your family recovers, even after the recovery of your illness, the emotional scars too takes time for recovery. You need to give yourself time for that. Yeah. And that's it. You just need to give yourself time to recover. It will get better. It will send you love.
Thank you. Okay, so because today kan, I have Anak Cik Beda with us. I'm going to give you the time lah. Korang nanti every week pun aku jumpa. Dapur ni memang korang punya. Jadi pasal Anak Cik Beda dekat sini, aku kasih dia chance. Okay, Ahmad, I'm going to give you the floor. I'm going to give you the screen time. To say thank you, do it as a tribute to whoever, siapa saja atau this is your time. I give it to you. Please, go ahead. If you have anyone to say thank you, apa pesan-pesan ke, ada pesanan ke, go ahead.
I think the greatest thank you that I have in mind will be the people who suddenly appear in my life, whether they really care deeply or whether they feel a need to reach out to me. I appreciate every single text message, every single Facebook message. I am so grateful to Karen Tan, who would fetch me from chemo, and I'm holding my puke bag and she would drive me home in silence or would try to cheer me up. I am grateful to my friend Wensin, who would drive me. And I think about my time recovering through cancer, and I'm going to say it because this is my reality anyway. The people who were kindest to me weren't people of the Malay Muslim community. It was very strange that the people I know or my relatives somehow assumed the position of cancer specialist. Kau jangan makan ni, kau buat ni. Ini semua balasan or something, or this is, bahagian engkau. And to me, it's like, I don't know. Is that really necessary at this time? I mean, do you really want to share this message to me, to a dying man? So I was very grateful to many people who were from a larger, wider community. I mean, Hussein Sulaiman reached out to me. Kak Alin wanted to sit with me at chemo to spend time with me, although that never happened because of COVID and also because I finished chemo early. And there was just so much outpouring of love. And and I thought I was out of the woods right now, but recent CT scan revealed that there was specks found in my lungs. The doctor says maybe it's cancer, maybe it's not. I am at this point in my life where I'm like, you know what, whatever happens, happens. I'm still gonna work out. I'm still gonna be good and funny and happy and right place and spend time with the people I like. I think somehow things get clearer. Relationships matter, people matter. All the rest of this ni semua barang-barang dunia, right, Kak Lin? Tak perlu. Right, exactly. So I've come to realize that the more you need to pump into people and invest in kindness, and you may not get it, but somehow life or God will send you kindness when you really, really need it. And I cannot thank everyone because I was very overwhelmed. You know, people would send me flowers. My ex-students would send me flowers and leave food on my door, and I don't know how else to say thank you but say thank you. So it was very overwhelming, and I have to say I think that was what made the difference in my recovery. So when I rang that bell at the end of my chemo for remission, that was for everyone. I hope it echoed through everybody, because I wouldn't have recovered as simple as well if it's not for the people who believed in my recovery more than I believed my recovery. There were days where I was like, you know what, God, I'm done. If it's my turn to go, my time to go. Just let me go, you know. But there were people who would somehow drop me a text message or send me a photo or a meme, and things would just pop up and go fast, you know. So that would be what my purpose would be in life for others right now, because I have been blessed with that. Okay, that's all.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much. That was lovely. Okay, so thank you very much, Ahmad, anak Cibeda. Balik nanti ke salam mak, ya. Ke salam ayah, Kamis. Salam orang semua, adik-adik semualah, So, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, Kat. Before I say thank you, Molly, thank you, Elmi. Okay, for being here. I'll see you again next week. Inshallah, Siti will be joining us. So, Ahmad, thanks for being here, and thank you for being at Kat Kitchen KakAlin.
Yay! Hai kawan-kawan.